Hello, my friends. Welcome back to day 8 of Kegel Camp. You hopefully have started with me back from day 1, and now we've all the way gone through a full week together. We are going to start really ramping things up. So let's begin on our back at the wall, just like we did yesterday in day 7. So find a wall. Remember, we get our bum really close to the bottom corner of the wall here. And we move into a deep squat at the wall. Now, this is really mimicking a deep squat stretch, like a malasana pose in yoga. But this is a really nice way to stretch and kind of get your body prepared for that if that's a little bit hard for you right now. So if you need to scoot your bum closer, go ahead. If you need to scoot back, go ahead and do that. Just find your perfect position. And before I go any farther, I should definitely not forget to say that if you are having any discomfort or soreness at all, take a pause in this program, maybe take a day's rest, or check the video notes for links to other resources that may help. So continuing on, let's go ahead and do the same little squeezes where your thighs, your inner thighs are squeezing against your arms. But today we're going to do pulses. So you're going to squeeze in against your arms 10 times while your arms are resisting it. So this is working those inner thigh muscles, and you're also stretching in this nice deep squat position, a deep squat at the wall. So 10 gentle squeezes against the resistance of your arms. We go 10, 9, 8, 7. Feel the midline of your body firing up, the inner thigh muscles, the pelvic floor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Release. Now scoot yourself back just a little bit, and we're going to do some bridges at the wall. So feet flat against the wall, right beyond your knees. So they're not wide this time. They're actually just right in front of your knees. In this position, you are going to press into the wall and squeeze your glutes and lift up. You might have to scoot back even more. Find that right position. We lift our pelvic floor to prepare. So do a little Kegel, squeeze the glutes, and press into our feet. Lift, 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 and hold it, and then down 10 times. Up and down. Squeeze the butt cheeks right now, strong and down. Great glute and hamstring exercise, working the butt and the hamstring muscles, and down and up and down. Let's do 4 more. 4 and down. 3 and down. 2 and down, and 1 and down. Since we're here, let's do 5 more, but lifting one leg off the wall. You might need to inch your leg that's on the wall inward just a little bit. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other foot. So replace the one foot with the other and lift the opposite leg. And 5, 4, lifting the hips. 3, 2, and 1. Feeling the supportive muscles of your core, your glute muscles, your hamstrings we're working to, really turning on. Okay, come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to do some little rock backs. This is a great mobility exercise. In this hands and knee position, you're going to rock back just like this, feeling that as you rock back, you're actually not tucking your bum under. So you want to avoid this, and instead you want to really lead with your bum. Open your sitting bones wide apart. So it's like a stretch of the pelvic floor right now, and you're just lengthening your spine back. Come forward and back and forward. Breathe with this. Rock it back, keeping your spine straight, and again, not doing this. We don't want this. One more time, rock it back, and then come to the middle. We're going to do another mobility exercise that's going to prepare us for those deep squats that are coming. So tuck your toes under And you're just going to you might need yoga blocks or something to put your hands on, but maybe you can just put your fingertips on the ground and move into sort of a modified deep squat. So in this position, my knees are nice and wide and I'm just rocking back. I'm on my toes. I'm not on flat feet yet. And now in this position, see if you can also squeeze gently against your arms. So squeezing very gently, but your spine is staying long, no tucking under, no rounding. So you're lengthened through your spine and tipped forward a little bit. So squeeze gently, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a lot of inner thigh and pelvic floor work through overflow activation of the pelvic floor muscles. Okay, one more exercise before we move into our seated Kegels for today. This is also on hands and knees, so if you need to be on fists instead of flat hands, that's okay. What we're gonna do is what I like to call the hover. This is a great exercise for your abs and your back. Again, we're working the whole core, not just the pelvic floor in Kegel Camp. So in this position, toes are still tucked under like before. Lift the pelvic floor, so do a little Kegel. Lift belly button toward your spine, nice and strong and engaged. Inhale deeply, and then exhale, really engaging that pelvic floor and abs. We lift the knees off the ground just a little bit. You should feel those low abs turn on. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, and let go. Okay, sit back. Now, remember that Kegel Camp is, of course, not a total, super long core day every day, so you can always do extra core exercises to really add on to this. We're just starting to wake things up. So let's go ahead and grab our chairs now, and we're gonna do some seated Kegels. Okay, here we are. We're now seated, which is a progression from our hips up on pillows where we started on day 1 to then lying down on our back, which we were doing for the rest of the first week. Now we're doing our Kegels sitting up. So of course gravity is pulling everything down in this position, but we're aided by the chair. So we're not having to use our muscles to stand up and hold ourselves upright against gravity. The chair is helping support us, but still you've got gravity pulling everything down. So it is a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging than doing it lying down on our backs. We're gonna do the exact same number of Kegel exercises that we did yesterday. So 2 5-second holds and then 1 10-second hold and then 20 quicks. So let's go ahead and get started right away. You might actually like this better. Some people prefer seated Kegels because they have more feedback about what's going on. When they contract, they almost feel that lift better because you're going up, and then they feel the release better because you're releasing down. So let's see what you think. Let's go ahead and begin with the 5-second slow holds. So squeeze and lift your pelvic floor, gathering up those muscles. It's like you're pulling away from the seat of the chair, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release all the way. Now, it might help you when you're seated in your chair to pitch forward just a tiny, tiny bit, and to imagine that you're like lifting a tissue off of the chair with your vagina or your anus, if you're a male or female, those openings. It's like you're lifting a tissue off the floor, off of the chair. It's a weird mental imagery, but for some people it helps. So let's go ahead and do it again. So nice long spine, nice and tall and lifted, sitting on your sitting bones. Definitely do not tuck your tailbone under. So we squeeze and lift the pelvic floor, lift it up and away from the chair for 5, 4, 3, holding it, 2, 1, and then fully release and let go. That should feel like a melting. Your sitting bones are melting apart. You're still sitting up straight and tall, but they're melting apart. This time we hold it for 10 seconds. So squeeze and lift and hold, gathering everything up. Gather it up, and hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Just like yesterday, that might be really hard. By the count number 10, you might be like, oh my gosh, that hold was so much. I don't even feel like I was holding it anymore. I felt like there was nothing to let go. Sometimes what happens is when we're holding it for that long, our muscles slowly start kind of letting go and releasing without us even knowing it because they're not quite strong enough yet. They're building up that strength. If that's where you're at, that's okay. That's why we're doing Kegel Camp. You're gonna get stronger, just keep at it. So now we do our 20 quick Kegels. So we go, squeeze and lift and release 20 times, pretty quick. So here we go, 1, release, 2, release, 3, release, 4, release, 5, release. Remember, we're squeezing and lifting and then releasing. If you ever feel like you're starting to bulge down or bear down, then you need to stop and you need to lie down on your back again, maybe even with your hips propped up on pillows. So let's go ahead and get back in the game here. Let's do about 10 more. Hopefully you were going that whole time. 10, release, 9, release, 8, release, 7, release, 6, release, 5, release, 4, release, 3, release, 2, release. Last one, squeeze and lift, release. So that last point that I was saying, definitely take a moment to let it go, maybe even stretch out your legs while I'm talking. So do some stretches, whatever feels good. But really, really important to remember that if you're feeling at any time like we're progressing too fast, then take a pause, just go back, maybe repeat the previous day or even start back at the beginning again. That's totally fine. You just don't want to push yourself too much. It can make you sore. It can actually cause more problems than good if you're pushing yourself too fast. If at any time you ever have any questions about this too, contact a women's health physical therapist or a pelvic floor physio in your area. They can give you the best directions because they'll see you in person. But again, if you're doing great, continue with me. But if you're feeling like you need to step back, that is okay as well. So with all that being said, I will see you tomorrow, if you're ready for it, for the next day of Kegel Camp. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and I will see you next time. Until then, remember, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter.